Welcome back to Inside Flair, which stands for Flourish in Life Through Art and Resources for Endometriosis, where we talk about all things endo, the lived experience, the things we go through the lens of our education and advocacy. So, I'm your host Priscilla, and today I want to talk about the different ways that you can be involved. I made a little flow chart, which I will add a link to access so you can see it. Maybe I can share it on the screen in this video. So I tried to highlight the three essential pillars, at least that I have right now, of how you can get involved. So I've been using the example of like Sarah Jo, and she stumbles upon Flair, and she's like, wow, I love the vision. I love this idea. How do I want to be a part of it? How do I fit in? And Sarah Jo could be diagnosed with endo, but she doesn't consider herself an artist. So let's walk through what that might look like. So here you can see the three at the top. I have storytelling, education, and advocacy, right? Because one of the biggest goals is to be a space where you can come on and tell your story, have your voice be heard. And there's a couple ways that you can take part in doing that. So one, easy peasy simple, I feel, is an Instagram feature. So part of it, when I created at least that space on the platform, is to showcase, especially artists and their work, because it's important to me that that gets out. But you can simply have a photo of yourself, your story, and that be it. On the other hand, I welcome you to be involved in the podcast and have an article to go along with it where you write your story, you would send, and that would be posted and shared on Substack. So that's getting a little more formal, a little more personal, where people can connect and really feel like they get to know you. You know, you're putting yourself out there, a little more vulnerability, taking it to the next step. So as far as education, inside Flair, mind you, I will share again with you, I am an art teacher. I got my bachelor's in art education, my master's in English, teaching English language learners, linguistics. So my big thing is like, how can we educate people and in what ways? In Flair, one of the biggest ways, right, is through art, and that is creating visuals as a form of healing and processing pain and your lived experience. Underneath those two, right? So in the creativity component, we have future workshops coming up. So you'll be able to have access to take part. And what that looks like is, if you can imagine, an online introduction to art course. So whether it is watercolor with me or collage with another one of our Flair team members, you have a chance to express yourself that way and actually make art. Sarah Jo might want to do the Instagram feature, but she doesn't want to be interviewed. She doesn't want to do the podcast or have an article, but she does want to take a class. And in the beginning, like I said, she didn't consider herself an artist, but after this course, she's like, okay, I'm hooked. I want to keep doing this more. Now, maybe you don't want to take a course. The other option is the general journal prompts. So I'll be offering those, getting those out there. They're already, some exist in a post on Instagram there. If you scroll down, you can see earlier. And that is just like baby steps. That's picking up a pencil and paper and being alone with yourself, exploring self-expression just as a form of, art therapy, personal growth, and, that relationship that you have with yourself and your endometriosis, processing that way on your own. No teacher hovering over you or talking through a screen. So then the other component of education, so we have art, is reading and literature. And it says on the website, again, that I want to, Flair isn't here the end all be all where we tell you everything you need to know about endometriosis. The goal is to have a library where we can guide and direct you to those different avenues. So here at Flair, in that library we have is resources on health and policy. that's going to give you a little bit more details on real data, literature backed by real data, and medical professionals. These ways, like I said, to guide and direct you about other endo information in those communities. So maybe there's a list there that can guide you toward more health and diet or products or questions to ask. I mean, different things like that that kind of go into more detail down another channel. So the involvement with Flair as far as education is just that. So reading and making. And last but not least, advocacy, right? We want to spread awareness, and we can do that right now through a couple different ways. If you're interested in, one simple way is just by promoting it, inviting others that you know, friends, family, your hairdresser, perhaps your OB, someone in the waiting room. Tell them about Flair. Share on your social media accounts, and eventually, as we get bigger, if you want to, take part in fundraisers and things like that. Next, so our other part underneath advocacy is projects. Now, actively taking part of a project is a really really amazing opportunity, because you're putting yourself out there as part of the art. And a couple ways that we're doing it right now is through one, our art and photo traveling project called Blaze, which I'm really excited about. And the other is, I'm calling it my baby, but it's a big baby. It's like a toddler now. The art exhibit. Now, if you've been following along since the beginning, then you know that the art show was the original prompt, the catalyst that started all of this, when I was in the hospital. So let's talk about Blaze. I actually posted another episode on the podcast here of talking a little bit more about it. There's also some details on Instagram. I'll put it out, an article on Substack also. So Blaze, when you think about the idea of Flair, and you think, okay, it's just a very negative connotation, usually, right? We think of like pain, and the idea with that, the flame as a fire, and blazing the path Blaze is one of the projects where we are spreading awareness through art in a different form and learning about art in a different way. Art as photography, art as performance, art as storytelling, art learning, art handling, right? The fabric is the art. Collaborative art, symbolism. There's a lot going on there. So you have the opportunity to take part in that. And when I say you, I mean anybody. It doesn't matter your age, your gender, the color of your skin, your hair, your location. It is open to the world. I welcome you. And I put a form out there. So on Instagram, you can find the link. I'll put it on the website as well, the interest form, so I can get a better idea of how many people and how we can make this happen, because the end goal for that is to be in the art exhibition in September. I'm going to share another, I think I'm going to record another episode to go more in depth about the art exhibition and our virtual gallery on the website, because those projects that you choose to take part in, whether through the art education workshops or the exhibition itself, I want to make sure that you know where you fit in, where you feel comfortable, how you want to take part, and how we can include you in that. Making sure everybody has the details and it's all formed together. So with that, I hope that gives you a better idea of Flair, what we're about, what we're doing. This is going to be a very exciting movement. We are moving toward being an official nonprofit organization. I've got a great team so far that I cannot believe I found, discovered, and connected with so fast. Love the internet for that. I've personally learned so much about myself. I'm putting myself out there. Good things are coming. I'm doing better in my recovery. We're in week 3 right now. So, yeah. And I just want to thank you for being here. I'm looking forward to what's to come, and keep creating. Keep healing.